After seeing some of these Asian schools, you will never complain about going to school again. First on the list is a wild ride to school, crossing a river with only a cable and a basket. This ride is an everyday thing to children somewhere in Nepal. To avoid a long and unsafe trek in the hills, they chose to cross a river, using only this cable and basket and pushing it with their hands.
Often, I'm afraid I might slip and hurt myself. I'm also afraid of wild animals, like jackals, monkeys, or tigers. But I really want to go to school.
The craziest thing is that crossing the river is not the end of the trip. When they reach the other end, they still have to walk for 45 minutes to finally arrive in school. Talk about dedication and hard work for education. Looking at this makes you realize that sometimes we take our schools for granted. And this is just the beginning. These children in China have to climb for a dangerous 5 hours with sharp turns and narrow passages every single day just to go to school. This is Guru Elementary School, a school located in the mountains of China. It is also known as a school hidden in the clouds. It's very high, steep, wild and dangerous, but children had no choice but to risk their lives because it was the only accessible school for them. Fortunately, it closed down after 60 years of operation. Now, the next one is a school that floats. Bangladesh is strongly impacted by climate change. That is why it's prone to floods. These floods disrupt people's everyday life, including children's education. It was very difficult to hold regular classes, but people in some parts of Bangladesh have learned to work around it. They believe that classes shouldn't be stopped by these floods, so they build schools that float. These boat schools have computers, internet access and a small library above the floods. What a humble way to learn. So, if boats, then why not trains? This is India's train platform school. These schools are placed at train stops. It was established by a non-government organization for the sole purpose of giving free education to children who live in slums. They believe that instead of begging for money, children should be educated. And so far, these schools offered education to over 4,000 kids, all for free. I know that the education system is very flawed, and most of you know that I'm not a fan of how many schools are killing the potential of its students. But after seeing the examples from this video, one thing became obvious. We should never take for granted the very fact that we can have an accessible education, because for millions of children all around the world, it is a privilege worth risking their lives